Hello. We're taking
Huh.
two. Y'all don't know that, but we know that.
Second take.
Second take. Welcome to Sunday Shift. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. You know, we love your comments if you're on YouTube. And
hmm
quick housekeeping before we get into it. Ty and I are both going to be off next week. So there will not be a Sunday Shift next week, Sunday, and then we'll be back the week after that. Of course, our friends Tara and Susie have a new podcast. We'll post about it. Y'all should definitely listen to that, as well as the Port
Oh,
Charles
nice.
update. Yeah, as well as the Port Charles update, which is something I usually listen to when I upload our podcast. So I don't hear what they
hmm
say before we record.
So Tara and Susie have a new pod. I'm so out of the
Yes.
loop.
Yeah, I think they had one episode before that I listened
hmm
to. But I think it's brand new.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tara and Susie.
Yeah. How are you? For the second
I'm
time.
fra
How are you?
Yeah, I am frazzled. I have a lot going on with my campaign. I was talking to my grandma this morning. I said, Grandma, all the ups and downs that people are seeing around the presidential race is happening here in Oakland and in a more acute sense. And for me, it's just there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of surprises, a lot of changes that might be happening. And it's like, you know, I think the show that I do watch, actually, I was telling Tracy earlier that I hadn't been watching a lot of television because of the work that I've been doing, but I have been watching GH and I've been watching Big Brother. And the motto of Big Brother is expect the unexpected. And that's what's been happening in this campaign for Oakland City Council. So y'all pray for me or cross your fingers or, light a candle, whatever you do to give me good juju. I need all of it because it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy out here. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily GH has been better, so it doesn't feel like a task to watch. Um,
Right.
and
So exciting.
I love that people love you so much. Your motto, love
Mhm.
for Oakland, like your moniker, if you will, has really
Yeah.
carried over. And when
Yes.
you're good people, people want to support you. So no matter what you do, it'll be the right decision.
Yes.
Unlike Drew, who is obviously running a terrible campaign. So, um, well,
Well,
let's
he's
hop
even
into it. Let's hop into it. Who was your performer or performers of the week?
okay. So I know we have been upset at TJ as a character for a while. Um, Not to say that he doesn't have a good point, but how he has been just being angry at Christina for a while and whatever. But we always felt that Taj Bello was amazing, and he really proved he didn't need to prove it, but he definitely demonstrated it this week. I was in tears
Mm,
and because of the pain that he was feeling at the loss of his child. Not only at the loss of his child, the anger, the disappointment that Molly wasn't there for him while they were trying to pack things up, you know, the range of emotions that he was feeling and how he conveyed those, how the actor Taj conveyed those for his character was top notch. I'm not sure why he hasn't been nominated or if he why he hasn't been nominated before. I'm hoping he definitely is nominated this year because for these scenes, they were amazing. And I just, I had to give it up to him.
mm.
Also,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've said a lot about Taj before. Him not
hmm
being more in the forefront is a
hmm
crime against us as viewers.
Right.
I mean, he has it all. He's handsome. He's good at
hmm
his job. He is a hospital character. There's no reason that we should not be seeing more TJ.
Right. Um, Also have to give it up to Kate Mancy as well. Um, Again, top tier. Um, And who else? Oh, Maurice Bernard. That scene. Oh, on the rooftop. I have some critiques about that, but I also have great respect and admiration for the work that Maurice Bernard has been pulling off. it was amazing. It made me cry when Morgan was there with him on that rooftop. Um, who else? Yeah, it was mainly, Maurice, Kate Mansi, and Taj for me.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Maurice Bernard, you had like things about the roof scene, but
Hmm.
yes.
And Kate Mansi. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
Maurice Bernard, Kate Mansi, and Taj Bello for me were the
mm-hmm,
actors,
mm-hmm.
the
I
performance.
think I think that for me, Maurice Bernard has just like really shown how when he is given the material, he will take it and run with it, and he will be a leader on the
Hmm.
set. I think I was like joking about this with like maybe Tara or somebody, and I was like, I feel like Maurice like took everybody into a room and was like, "Hey, we got embarrassed at the Emmys before. It's not happening again. Everybody, we're on it. Steve, I need some tears. Laura, keep doing what you're doing. Finola, you got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Willow, step it up. He was like, Eden, get in here. So I was gonna say Trina. That's not her name.
True.
Taviana, everybody.
Taviana. Yeah,
We got watery eyes this week. Are you ready? We're
right.
ready. So I just feel like he has been really carrying a lot of this. And I
Hmm.
have been a little frustrated. I mean, we have spoken about making sure that he was okay and that his mental health was okay. But I have been just like very frustrated um, with folks like questioning his mental health, like questioning whether or not he was okay or not.
Hmm.
And it like directly to him, that has been like I feel really unfair to him, like directly going to him. And there is concern, and then there is like trolling. There's like I
Hmm.
really hope that he's doing well, and then like trying to make a point about like you not liking your story or you not liking whatever. um I just feel like that is silly, and really unfortunate. He has said multiple times that he's okay. I hope that
Hmm.
he's okay. And I think that like trying to force him to say he's not okay just is not it. But he
Hmm.
has been doing great. And now we're on the other side of this hump um, for him, which I'm sure we'll talk about in the story. So I think, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am also glad now that it's out, and everyone has been like, I saw some memes are like, yay, Carly, Sunny, and Jason are back, you know? Um I don't feel like there's an actual conclusion yet, or I don't feel like there's been closure in terms of how he's reacted to Carly and Jason, but there's definitely a thawing out and a kind of again a reestablishment of the confidence that he has in Jason. I feel like there needs to be some atonement from Sunny in recognizing how he's treated both Carly and Jason personally for me. And I don't know if their GH is going to go there. Maybe they're just drop back to where they were. I don't know. But I feel like there needs to be acknowledgement of how he's reacted towards them, and then saying, I know you guys know this. I was not on my medications, but I do just want us to hash everything out and get on a different understanding. And so for me, that would be important to have. But in terms of, Maurice Bernard and acting, yeah, yeah, I feel like because he has been doing his series, State of Mind, and he's been open with people on social media about his diagnosis. And the way social media is like a lot of times the audience and the fans feel like they own, um, not own you, but feel like they're entitled to things that they normally wouldn't have been entitled to because he's shared so much. And so I think people are feeling like, they have to take care of him, even though they're strangers to him. They're not really his family. They're not really that his loved ones or his close ones. So they feel a sense of ownership and responsibility for him. And that's why they feel like they can tell him, like, you need to tell us if you're okay, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. And I'm like, y'all realize that he is sharing part of his life, but you aren't really in his life. And so it's not really up to you to dictate his treatment or how he feels, So it's really
Mm-hmm.
hard to keep that balance with people.
Right. Right.
Like
Because
once you go there.
yeah, I mean, because like I said, I think that there's a difference between like genuine concern versus like
Hmm.
I don't know. I just felt like there was a little bit of like I don't like the story, and so I'm gonna get him to say on
Yeah,
camera or like on
that he doesn't
online or
like it too.
wherever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Um.
all of those elements, right? Yeah. There's
Yeah.
people that are sincere and feel like they have a responsibility, but there's also people who just want to use this as an opportunity to cause chaos and mess. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the line that we have to toe when we're dealing with social media and celebrity.
There
Um,
you go.
yeah.
Well, I will also say, I mean, getting into the story, when I
Hmm.
tell you how shocked I was that it was like just like, oh yeah, she lost the baby on Monday. What?
Yeah, it wasn't like a dramatic. It's like, yeah, she lost the
It
baby.
because a lot of times it'll be like there's a surgery, there's this, there's all whatever.
Hmm.
It was like no, 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 no. This is done. I was shocked. I think it's because we know that Rick is coming back. And so the assumption from like so many of us was that he was going to come back. It was going to be like this custody battle or whatever, like between
Hmm.
Christina and Molly. And it's like, no, baby's gone. That shocked me, genuinely.
Yeah, because there's so much potential story around it, and there's been so much conversation about whether or not Christina was going to fight for custody or all of that. And there was so much attention being paid to that aspect of the story. To have the baby be gone is shocking. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so what do we do now? you know? And it also makes us wonder, so if Rick isn't involved in the custody battle, then what is it? What's it going to be about? What is he going to
What is he
do?
coming for? Yeah.
What is he
I
coming for? Mm.
I do think it's fascinating that the way that we have like weaved in between whose baby it is. Like
Mhm.
initially when Christina found out, she like is crying to Molly, like, oh, I lost, your baby or the baby. But
Mhm.
the way their family has been kind of interacting with them, the way Christina has been talking about it wasn't nothing to do with TJ. It wasn't nothing to do with Molly. That was her baby, period.
Mhm.
And
And
I
that's
just
how
think
she's
that's
talking now.
And so as we hear them talk about, oh, we want to have a funeral, we want to name the baby, I do wonder if that's going to be a source of like tension between them because everybody's grieving. So it's like it was
Mhm.
already set up to kind of be a mess anyway. So it's not even like you went into it with
Mhm.
like this understanding and then things fractured or broke down. It was already this.
Mhm.
And I think that
Yeah,
because
especially
they had all of this like build up is why I was surprised it happened.
yeah. And to add to your point, Christina and her conversation is like, I'm the one that bonded with this baby. It's been me and her for the past 8.5 months. I'm the one that carried her. I'm the one that knew what made her happy and knew what she was feeling when. It's my child. The way she's talking is my child. As soon as the idea of TJ and Molly having any kind of say in what happens with that baby, there's definitely going to be tension at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's interesting. What also is interesting is how they are manifesting Christina's prediction around Molly and TJ breaking up. You already seeing the distance that Molly is putting herself between her and TJ. And I can just see it down the road. Oftentimes you see stories of couples not surviving a miscarriage or a loss of a child.
Mm-hmm.
And am seeing it kind of playing out right now, with Molly going on her own. A lot of people assume that Molly just went to work, which is I think, an interesting assumption. Well, she did say she was going to work, but to not follow like anyone to be like, are you sure? I'm gonna call you while you're at work to make sure you're okay, or anything like that. Nobody did that. So they don't
Hmm.
know that she actually went to see Ava and that she hasn't
Hmm.
really actually gone to work. They're just mad that the idea of her going anyway, and they just let her go off, which is interesting, I think.
I
Um,
do too. I think that's interesting too.
mhm,
It's like this
mhm.
balance between, I always wonder, like, what is, we actually need some money like, for the show.
Yeah,
And
we need to pay your
that's why we don't see certain things versus like this is directed
mhm,
in this other like story way.
mhm,
Because, like not having Sam there, I'm like, what's that about? Like we saw the
mhm.
like a little bit of Michael. We haven't seen Blaze. It is
Yes, that's
wild. Like, so I'm like, is it a matter of we just like couldn't pay all these people as a show? Or is it like a storyline dictated? Because I feel like if it's a matter of you couldn't pay these people, there are things that can be done that don't necessarily have to be seen. There's a very quick
right.
line of Blaze just left, Michael just left, whatever it is, as opposed to like
Mhm.
ignoring the fact that it didn't happen. I would have liked to see, because everybody is now supporting Christina. I think we saw a call of Alexis calling Molly. We haven't seen Sam step up in that way. It really does feel
Mhm.
like Davis girls against like TJ's family.
Ooh, so yeah, now that's a conflict I didn't even think about. The Davises versus the Ashfords. What
Because
is
something,
TJ's last? Is it Ashford?
it is actually, because something I'm
Okay.
kind of wondering is if we're going to find out that Molly is pregnant after her and TJ have a lot of issues. And Christina ends up being like really jealous of her pregnancy. And Molly is like pulling away from TJ. Like, I think that would be like an interesting dynamic to explore. But what I don't like
Hmm.
is this kind of pretending that TJ wasn't part of this or that he didn't matter. I know
Hmm.
that I was like listening to James Lott. I was like watching one of his like live streams or something, and he was saying, and I didn't pay attention to this online, but he was saying that people were like mad that they killed like a black baby. And I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't even think about that. I was actually,
Hmm.
I don't want to sound heartless. I was happy that that baby was gone. I was like, this is too much drama. I don't care about this story. Like, it just was like it wasn't
You know what?
interesting
And
to
in some
me.
scenario, yeah, in some scenarios, we were predicting a miscarriage, not this late, but we were predicting a miscarriage is going to happen or something. She was going to lose the baby in some way. GH did shock us all though in the way that they did it, but some folks were saying that she's going to lose the baby, so it's not that shocking. Um, to be mad that it was a black baby, I mean, y'all, sometimes we want a story for black families, but we don't want certain stories.
That I
That's
think
I think
is
weird.
like
It's interesting.
that I think is like the kind of thing where
Hmm.
we want story, but then like so say for example, and we'll get into it a little bit more, but like I hate the way they write Portia, right? Like
Right.
I don't know what's gonna happen, particularly with this story, but I am interested to see if this creates some like drama between like Trina and the Davis girls and that set of people. Because that is like what a soap would
Hmm.
do. But I think that they
Hmm.
tiptoe around like Trina. And for me, like I do
Hmm.
like have a push and pull for her as a character because she is a heroine and I want her front burner, but I also there is also, I don't know, this almost like weight of representation because it's just her, that she doesn't become like such a mess, even though like the mess is what sells the story. So I don't have the right answer. I'm just like
Yeah.
voicing kind of what I think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Because that's the thing. It's part of the soaps. If something bad happens to you. Now,
mhm,
what that bad thing is and what does it means for a community, that's a whole other nuance, right?
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
because honestly, if Trina was not black, her being accused of drugging her friends would not have as much relevance for us. And
mhm,
her being um accused of a crime that she didn't do and what that means for her to go to jail would not have as much relevance, and it wouldn't have um caused a lot of controversy if she wasn't black. So
mhm.
stories mean something. We want stories, but some stories have a different impact than other stories do,
Yeah,
depending on the
yeah.
race of the person. Yeah.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
Um, and then when you're trying to write for Black families and you're trying to write for Black characters, that's something to be mindful of. We want parity in terms of screen time and story, but we want there to be an acknowledgement of what circumstances due to individuals based off of race. And you can't just
mhm.
write a story of Trina going to jail without recognizing what that means for a young Black woman to go to jail, you know?
Exactly. And I think
And
that there
so,
is, yeah, I think that that's completely right. And I think that there's also this
mhm,
um, thing that they do. It reminds me of Grey's Anatomy, which is, I don't know if you watch, but if you, Christina Yang was Sandra Oh's character. And
mhm.
she had a lot of story. She was front burner. She had a lot of drama. But I don't think I don't, they might have acknowledged that she was Asian once or twice. And it's not that we want characters who walk around and say, I'm Asian, I'm black, I'm this, I'm that. But we do want that to
Right,
be a part of their story. We do want that, like,
right.
we don't, it was like, even in the Sprina relationship, they didn't bring up race. There was never any drama around that. I think that we had it with Molly and TJ, like way back in the day. Stella brought it up. So it's not
Mhm.
like we want that to be the only thing, but in order to make these relationships dynamic, there should certainly be something. And we just don't see that. Um, and so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer. But I know that I didn't care about
Yeah.
that baby dying.
Not to laugh at the loss of a baby. I'm laughing at the, the comment. I have another hot take on
Please tell me.
on this story. So yeah, while I was noting that Taj Bella was doing an amazing job and his grief, I also noticed who of the family really comforted him, and I had a hot take on why. So
Tell
it
me.
was Stella, Aunt Stella, who he cried his eyes out to, who he emoted to, who he expressed all of his feelings to, and felt better after having talked to her. Not his
Mm-hmm.
mama. And why? Because his mama is only 10 years older than him. Just
Because
like,
his
that's what
mama
I'm
could.
thinking. His mama could be his girlfriend in real life. you know? Um, it was Aunt Stella who was the mom in that scenario,
Mm-hmm,
and it was perfect. It was great.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then comes
It
along
had to be.
Jordan, like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
Yes. It is all of their one-on-one scenes looks like two people who are dating.
Mhm.
It is really hard to get into them as a mother son pairing
Son.
because both of them look
Yeah.
so good. They look like they could be together. Um, and I
Right.
know that the Jordan, the most previous Jordan was also really young, but there was something almost like like maternal about her. You know, like the way she
Hmm.
played the character. Tanisha just like a fine ass model walking around town. You know what I mean? Like, not that she's not doing a great job with her character, she is, but
No, she
it
is.
she just this woman was about to be a grandmother. That sounds crazy.
It
Like, what are we doing?
right. So yeah, I was just like,
Well,
I was struck by that. I was like, no way,
well, I
no
had
way he would like. Go ahead.
no, I had Black Hospital a little bit down further, but let's talk about them now. Because the other thing I noticed is that
Yeah.
Trina wasn't there. So it's like if you were gonna
Hmm.
make Trina and Ashford, if you were gonna change, like essentially like stop her from being like a legacy kid, because I consider Taggart her,
Hmm.
you know, and I still consider Taggart her father, but if you want to take that from her, then why is she not like deeply ingrained in the Ashford family? And there are big Ashford family moments that happen that Trina's not there for.
Hmm.
And I think that
Right.
Stella and all these other people would have loved her just the same as Portia's daughter. I mean, especially with GH, like this, like attachment to biology is so crazy because we know and we are so used to Sunny and Michael, and we know that they don't have a biological tie. So like making being so obsessed with the biological tie is weird to me. But if you were gonna do
Hmm.
that, then like why do we have it so that Trina is not always around for these Ashford scenes?
Right. Yeah. And instead, well, not the Heather Weber as an important. Um, it just it I think her being part of helping, TJ at this point seemed to be more important. And I am caring less and less about what's happening with Heather. This is a storyline that I'm just like, do something. Either, I just don't
Mm-hmm.
like it. I'm glad that like she had that scene. She had her closure with Heather. And
And it was a good
so
scene.
as far as it was a great scene. And so as far as I'm concerned, their involvement in Heather's release or not is over, right? I think, Portia's gonna go on her crusade for whatever reason. But as far as I'm concerned, Trina has had her say and she's ready to move on. And I think the show should move on too off this topic.
When Trina was talking to her mama and said something like, "What the hell was that?" I said,
Yeah.
"Are there no black people in the writers' room?" You just, I'm
Right.
at my mom's.
Because
I'm at.
again, my mom was I can't even say what she would have done because y'all would have been calling child protective services on her, and unfortunately, I'm an adult, so you can't do that. But yeah, my mama would have had some thoughts on talking to me like that, talking to her like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm grown. I'm at my mom's house. I'm leaving in a couple days. And Tanya saw y'all didn't see. I had to pause. She came out here, did not care about me recording a little podcast. It was like trying to talk and was trying to talk to me. And I wouldn't even be like, what the hell
Right.
you doing? Like I wouldn't, and I'm grown. Like, what do you mean? Trina said that to her mama. That was nuts to me. This is what
Hmm.
I'm talking about when it comes to these are black characters, and we don't say what the hell was that to our mama.
We sure don't. We'd have been like,
Um,
"Oh, mom, I saw you were upset. Why?" Like, how can I help? Or like, no, like, what the hell was that? Uh-uh.
it, it is like part of what my problem is. I think that that becomes, and granted, like I feel like people can advocate what they want to for what they want to advocate for, and for me, I'm always like, let's dig deeper. So, like, if we're talking about the problem with TJ and the baby, it's not that they killed the baby, it's that they cut him out of the like the story, the surrogacy storyline mostly together. And then like the parts that he was there, he was like unlikable. Like let's talk about that. I feel like
Mhm.
is more important for me, more important than the baby not surviving. Because that's like a soap trope that happens anyway. I feel
Yeah.
like with Portia, like people are like, I don't like her, I don't like her, I don't like her. You don't have to like Portia. But for
Mhm.
me, my question is, why do they keep writing her this way? What personality does Portia have besides being worried about Trina?
Mm.
Since Portia has been on this show,
Right.
she has been worried about Trina and worried about Curtis.
Yep.
That's it.
And she's been like co-chief of staff, but even that is framed around what she as the chief of staff is doing to protect her daughter and what that
Mm-hmm.
means, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not even about the struggles of being a black chief of staff doctor. Could be about the being, the day to day of running a hospital. It could be about so many things, but it's been about I'm pushing people around because I need to check to protect my doctor, you know?
And
Um,
when she checked Felicia, I laughed. I did.
on the one hand, I laugh because, yeah, girl, check that weight, lady. But on the other hand, it was like, dang, she's just trying to do her job, Portia.
But it was like again,
So,
why do you
yeah.
have Portia, who is the chief of
Mhm.
staff? We've had to have her like go tell Elizabeth that you're doing a great job, to then turn around and have her
Mhm.
not do a good job herself, and to
Right.
have her daughter
So,
and then somebody on her staff tell her she was like bad at her job. These are
yeah.
writing choices.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's continue talking about the hospital, but let's move on to Sunny. What a story. Um,
Mm.
it was like they were like, we need to wrap this up.
Yes.
So Molly goes off on Sunny. Sunny goes to the roof, and we get Brian Craig back as a Vision, as Morgan.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know I was not online. Apparently, Brian Craig had a reign of terror on some Twitter. I was not online for that, so I don't have those
What
feelings.
happened?
I don't know. I'll
Oh,
always, I try not to listen when I like what I like in character. I don't know anything about him as a person. I don't whatever. But as
okay.
Morgan, I missed him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's amazing as Morgan. And the scenes were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a hot take.
Please tell
I had
me.
another hot take because I was like, the roof in the past has always been on top of maybe a small little park, maybe concrete, maybe something. It's never been a street. So when they showed him on the ledge, I'm looking down. I was like, did they move the rooftop? Is it like, is this a new street that was constructed?
A different
Like, what is
size,
going
a
on?
different.
It was a different, it's a different side, but it looks the same as the other side. I was really focused on the fact that there was a new street spot. He was going to jump to Death Street, which ended up focusing on my part, but I just couldn't help it. I was like, that's new.
I'm very glad I did not focus on that. I focused on the kind of full circleness, and I was happy to see the full circleness
Mhm.
um like what happened to Morgan, to what
Yes.
happened to Sunny. I also think
Mhm.
it's interesting that he was not a ghost; he was a vision. So holding out some hope there.
Right. It was
Um,
an imagination or something. Yeah.
mhm. And I also love
That's
that
great.
in Sunny's imagination, he didn't do anything wrong.
Like,
His
Dad, you're
vi-
just protecting children. They love you no matter what.
Vision Morgan, Sonny was like, I almost killed Dex. Da, 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 da. Vision Morgan was like, well, you
Well,
deserve.
it's something you had to do. But I mean, you just did what you had to do. Okay. That doesn't mean your children don't love you.
Yeah, it was really
Right.
great. The rapport between Maurice
Mhm.
Bernard and Brian Craig was really great. I'm glad they brought him in for the story.
Mhm.
Um, because the other reason, the thing that made me think about him not being a ghost was the fact that he didn't go visit anyone else. He didn't, you
And so
know,
there's, yeah, so there's still a possibility of bringing him back.
mhm. He didn't go take
Yeah.
Christina's baby into heaven like Mike
Right.
did. Like
Yes. So
he was he was
he's
there. He
not,
did that thing
he's
for
not
Sunny.
definitely dead.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, and then I was happy to see Sunny go to Kevin because I think that that's something that has been missing on the show, which is like they keep having, again, this is one I'm like, do you need some money? They keep having day players be the hospital people and not people who we
Hmm.
know. And so to see
Hmm.
Sunny go to Kevin, I was like, yes, here we are, Kevin, like a person that we know, a person who like this is their job, not a day player. I thought was like really really great.
I also, it surprised me, right? Because I wasn't expecting it. So when they showed the ledge again, I was like, he did it. And then
Yeah.
immediately they're like, he's opening the door to Kevin. I was like,
Yes.
because it didn't look like Morgan was actually doing a good job of convincing him, right? He was trying to
Mm-hmm.
look like he was pushing him towards the jumping. And so we didn't get to see the epiphany that Sonny had. We just saw him just go into the office door. So when they showed the
Mm-hmm.
empty ledge, I was ready to believe he jumped, and I was about to be like,
Right.
surprise! I don't need that surprise. Y'all didn't think to get rid of Maurice Bernard so you can have Jonathan Jackson. What? No. So, not to say, I know what you're thinking, but I'm just like, this
No,
isn't the
Maurice
deal
Bernard's not
y'all
going anywhere.
made. Right.
Maurice
So,
Bernard is
but
not going anywhere until
mhm,
he's ready. I'm sure we will have a long runway
mhm,
when he announces that he's gonna retire. It will not be a surprise for
mhm,
us. It will be a whole goodbye story for him. I am
yeah.
confident.
So, but anyway, I'm glad that he, rather than the typical, lost my meds and going back and forth between different bouts in his diagnosis, he has shown growth in recognizing something is wrong and I need to go to the doctor.
You
Um,
sound like
and
Jason.
then, oh, yes. Oh, sorry. But can we talk about that ridiculousness with the meds though? First of all, that whole time that um Donna had, you know, accidentally got some vitamins and ingested the vitamins and going to the hospital and getting her stomach pumped, I was like, how the hell did she get a hold of Sunny's meds? How? And then they were like, it was actually Avery. How the hell did Avery get a hold of Sunny's meds? Does he have like 10 different versions, 10 different bottles all across his house just in case he misses one? No, he has one prescription. So how the hell did Avery get a hold of those meds when she hasn't been living at the home, right?
Avery's been at
She's been
Sunny's
at
house.
Carly's. She has been at Sonny's house, but she was at Carly's the whole night.
Yeah,
When
she
did
had
she
put in
get
her
a chance
bag.
to get a hold? Yeah, when did she get a chance to put them in her bag? And why didn't Sunny not notice that they were missing?
Who knows? I thought it was a really silly story. And I was like, what's going on
Hmm.
here? But when I understood what they were doing, I said, fine. I'm tired of
I
Sunny being off
understood.
his meds.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I wanted to complain about it, but I was so ready for the story to be over. I said, Okay. Even how slowly they were walking when Carly thought she took the medication. I'm like, yo, my niece, when I was younger, did take like a ton of Flintstone vitamins, and we had to like
Hmm.
rush her to the hospital. It was like bloody murder. We were rushing her to the hospital. They were just like, come on, Donna, need to go. You think she just took
Yeah, let's
all these?
go and walk. We're just gonna go to the hospital real quick.
Come
No,
on,
but
baby
I think
girl.
there are other ways they could have. There's other ways they could have found out that Sunny's medications were placebo, right? As soon as
Mhm.
Kevin did the blood work on Sunny and said, "There's no lithium in your blood work," the immediate question is, "Let's get a look at these pills and see what's wrong with them."
Mhm.
That should have
Mhm.
been the immediate reaction. It did not have to come to a point where some little kid was being drugged. It did not have to get there. And so
Mhm.
I was just like, why? And
It
there's
was
so
it was
many
it was
other
silly.
stages earlier than that too. It was silly. But I love Donna because she's so adorable. I love the scenes that she had with Carly. So I was
See,
willing to let that bygones be.
I was just saying her like she too big for this.
Why is she sitting on your lap?
No, I was just like, if you're big enough to open like this pill bottle that I'm sure is childproof,
Hmm.
then you too big
Hmm.
to have taken the pills and not know what they were. They weren't
Yeah.
even like good. They weren't even like good tasting. You know what I mean? Because like if kids have like
Right.
overdosed on
Yeah.
like kids vitamins, these were placebos. What are we
Hmm.
talking about? Whatever. I was
They're
happy to see
little
it.
white pills.
I was happy to see he's
Yeah.
back on his
They
meds.
weren't
I was ha-
enticing.
I was
Hmm.
happy to see that the unholy trio is back. Carly, I thought it was an interesting thing to have Jocelyn there to see it because she has been like the hardest on Sunny. I thought like even when Sunny was like going in his mind over when he was on the roof of people who have or like the flashbacks or whatever, Jocelyn was a part of it. So I did think that was interesting. And so now people are gonna see, the difference in him. Also, Anna finding out that Sunny was off his bed and kind of being like, that explains things, but it doesn't. I love
Yes.
Anna. I have seen in like Instagram comments specifically that people have not been kind to her. And I was
Hmm.
saying this to somebody else. I think that particularly in the Jason coming back story, both Anna and Carly have been poorly written because Carly went from being like independent and I'm on my own and I got this to like not being able to do anything without Jason and being like really impulsive in a way that we hadn't seen her doing before. For Anna, I think the thing that was hard to swallow about her and Sunny was that they had been criming together. That she needed to be broken out of jail. He broke her out of jail. She needed a safe house. He had a safe house. Like y'all have been like buddies. Like she stayed in Sunny's house when she shot Charlotte. So to go from that to being like, I don't deal with you because you're a criminal, but I am gonna work with Jason felt really weird. And so it is interesting to me that
Hmm.
they had her say that like being off his meds didn't really change a lot for her.
Yeah, because it should have changed how he would have reacted. Like he wouldn't have beat down Dex in the wedding if he was on his meds. He probably I don't know what other oh he did beat down Cyrus too, right? He might
Mm-hmm.
not have done that. I think that might have been the beginning of him showing how he lost control. That with that assault on Cyrus. So it should automatically change things in terms of how Laura and Anna feels about him. Um, But then they're treating his treatment for bipolar disease the same way as they would treat somebody that was an alcoholic,
Mm.
I think.
Yeah. I
And
was at first I was like, it's very weird that he's just like back on his meds and boom, he's good. But I also was like, I'm ready for the story to move on, so
mhm,
I don't care anymore.
right.
And now we
Exactly.
have
So
so Valentine's out of the picture, and now they're like Ava is gonna absorb this blame, and it looks like she's bringing Jagger into this too. And I do wonder if she's setting Jagger up to take the fall for this, for the meds piece at least.
yeah, because there is I did see some social media chatter that the actor is not actually staying, even though others are like, he signed a 3-year contract. Well, there's rumors that he's leaving, and so it looks like he may be the one to be paying the price for everything. I don't know how they're gonna finesse it, but if the actor's not staying around, then he's going to be the one that's catching the hell. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
which is fine.
I never attached myself to Jagger. I mean, obviously we don't want anybody to be unemployed or
Mhm.
whatever, but I'm fine with him not being there. I did also read that Brennan is now on contract. Um, so
Hmm.
that's good. Yeah, I just Jagger has never been likable to me. He's also not compelling. I think, yeah, he's just not compelling to me. So I'm fine if he's gone, to be honest.
Me too. And I like that Brennan is on contract.
Yeah, you know,
Like,
and
yeah, I've
that's
always
no
been a fan
shade
of.
to
I've
that's no shade to Adam Harrington at all. I just have never. It's
no.
hard when you bring in a character like this um, to go up against Sonny and like everything he said. Like it's just not correct. You know, like of course the Karen stuff is, and he has every right, but like to pretend like Sonny didn't care for Stone. Stone has been Sonny's plot armor for a long time. So that's
Mm-mm.
actually just like not true. The jealousy, the weirdness. That's why I really loved Anna going at him and being like, there are many people who have tried to ruin their lives for for Sonny. That is actually where Anna shines the best. It's not like going toe to toe with
Right.
Sonny because we know she's never going to win going toe to toe with Sonny. That's not what we want to see or what I want to see. I want to see her going toe to toe with people like Jagger or other folks like that who come into town who she needs to take down, who we know she can beat.
Yeah, agree.
Because the show's Sunny's Teflon. The show's not gonna let anybody beat Sunny. So, um,
This is the closest we're gonna get is we're this is the closest we're gonna get to anybody criticizing Son, I think.
yep. The other thing I got, Jex officially back together. I like their conversation. I never thought it made sense for them to like be broken up. I like Jex. I think they have good chemistry. I think the problem is that they just never have had a compelling story to me. Um, and that's a lot because they don't know what to do with the young adult set. They don't know how to give them a story. They don't know how to have them. Um, that young adult set needs an adventure. Like they really, really do. Um, and yeah, there's just not anything that has been written that is compelling for any of that for Jocelyn, for Dex, for Trina, for Geo. Like even when we had Spencer, who's like a legacy kid and like a dynamic like character and actor, we had him babysitting. It's just not um it's not good. And I would like to see more for them. But I am happy they're back together. Um, and I hope to see more of them. Like I said, I hope to see like that set on an adventure together, doing something, not just talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're back together too. I actually find them more compelling, or at least Dex. I find him to be more compelling when he's trying to court her. And now that he's won her, I'm like, okay, great, move on.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, that's nice. So I do
Hmm.
find it interesting that they seem to that sex seems to be the answer to cure whatever anxiety or whatever feelings that she has because she's going through. Like, you know, I find him like her comment about everything is okay as long as we're in bed together or something. She didn't say as long as we're in bed together, but like, why do I need to go outside when we can just be here?
Hmm.
Yeah, like I need there to be something else that compels them to be together other than sex. But as a young couple, I guess that's the
Hmm.
norm. Maybe as
I
I
think
get older and more old fashioned, I seem to want more of a connection than sex. So, yeah,
I think that they're fine. I think that part of what makes
yeah,
them stand out in that way is that nobody else, there are no other couples who we see this way. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
uh, yeah, we just don't see any other couples have those kind of scenes, and so it ends up making Jet stand out when really this is like most
Mm,
other soaps or even soaps, even GH 10 years ago, we would have seen more love scenes anyway. So,
mhm.
Heather, she now is like, I'm about to sue to hit people.
Okay. That's not a story that I'm really interested in either.
Not at
I was
all.
like, yes, that's a great. I'm like, yeah, you can too. Have it be off screen. I don't need to see it. I don't need there to be a discussion. I mean, it seems like the natural thing. You have some sort of harm that could have killed you. Sue the people. Yay, get your money. It's not something that I want to have a whole like courtroom scene about.
Yeah. Well, Allie Mills is
Yeah.
going to B&B, I believe. So, like,
She's going to
imagining
B&B or she's always
mm,
she hasn't been fired.
from GH.
So no, from the bold and the beautiful. That's
Oh,
why
is she
I was
there
like, when you
now?
say she's going to B&B. Yeah, she's always been a recurring character.
Well, she's going back to like, I guess they're gonna have a story for her. So what I'm saying is that I'd be
Okay.
interested to see if like we're gonna have a GH story for her, and she's gonna be doing whatever she's doing on B&B, or if this means that
Mhm.
we're gonna cut back on the GH story for her so she can be like more present on
Mhm.
B&B.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not interested. Like as we said, I like the scenes with Trina getting her closure. Again, I think that this is where the Black writers, it's so clear that they're not there. And when they were
Mhm.
there, I don't know how much power they had. But like this whole idea of Trina being like, I trust the system, I trust the system. The system almost locked you up. And the system only didn't lock you up because the Black people in your life subverted it.
Mhm.
Why do we keep having Trina say she trust the system?
Right.
Even if that wouldn't have happened to her, that's still not something I need her to say. But specifically with what's
Mhm.
happened to her in the past, like let's remember and let's be real.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, Drew and Willow in the elevator making eyes at each other.
They're trying to make Drew and Willow a thing. Why?
I
It's just,
I don't know.
why? If they were, if they're serious about maybe having some sort of additional conflict between Michael and Willow, then they should have had Michael catch them in the first kiss. Like, I don't want to see this drawn out, will they or won't they type thing because they shouldn't at all. But if they're trying to have, oh, Michael and Willow need a story or they need a conflict, let them have the conflict now. Um, but yeah, Drew, I don't know what they're doing. Or maybe they want a conflict between Nina and Willow. Maybe they want Willow to be mad at Nina for stealing her man. I don't know what is going on or what the purpose is.
where I'm at with Nina, I mean, she did annoy me this week, but she annoys me always. I don't care about any more drama between her and Willow. We have had it. We have had it
Hmm.
for years. We don't need any more drama between the two of them. And I think that Willow and Drew really points out to me the fact that we don't have enough young people. Like, she can't cheat on, who would she cheat on Michael with? I mean, like, people were like shipping her and TJ, like they were, it was
Hmm.
Tree J, this was the name.
Hmm.
But like,
Yeah.
other than that, like, there's nobody in the cast that is like age appropriate. I think that I don't actually mind the whole like the uncle and the family of it all. What I don't care for personally is that he's old enough to be her father, and it just makes him look like a creep, and that's never been his story.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
And
what's
like
happening here?
it seems so out of character. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for him to even be like, yeah, we should go on this trip to sir, stop. Go on this trip together and do this meeting with, in LA. And I was just like, uh-uh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're right. There isn't anybody else except for the person I hate the most. Um,
Oh,
that
Cody.
would have been my interesting. Yeah, Cody, that might have been interesting to have them, do some little
No.
whatever dalliance, and then that way Sasha can go who she really needs to be with, which is Michael.
I love that. That's we're on our Misha, but I think that, but for me, what it really points out to is that like we should have Dylan on screen because that would have been more compelling. It
Oh,
would still been
yeah.
the family connection. It would still been cheating, but Dylan is
Hmm.
like age appropriate. It doesn't feel creepy. So like I don't mind the
Right.
soapiness, and I do think that there is something that happens that when the show goes soapy, there's a lot of complaint about it. But I think it's
Hmm.
because they don't like bridge the creep factor. So
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
just,
what's going on with Willow and Drew. I don't know what's going on with Nina and Drew. And they really keep making Michael look very stupid. So I'm interested to see what happens when Michael finds out.
ooh, yeah, she should know better. She know Michael got a temper. He he hold a grudge just like Sonny. So
He
he
does.
just,
I do.
he's different about it.
I I speculate that Michael, he's gonna be mad at Willow, but who he's gonna be mad at
Mhm.
is Drew. And I am interested. I mean, GH has done like not has not done a great job of like bringing families together and letting everybody have their reactions. But what I hope that we get is a reaction from Jason to Drew once this comes out.
Yeah, because Drew has been treating Jason like a redhead stepchild. Ooh, wait till Jason
Mm-hmm.
finds out. Ooh, that's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, just the fallout for it, his potential career as a congressperson and Tracy. I don't know. Tracy's never had a lot of love for Michael, but she's respected him.
But
Um,
Tracy
that's gonna
has
be
really liked
interesting.
Michael. Tracy in the past has really
I
cared for
mean,
Michael.
when did she care for him? I mean, I think she acknowledges him and she's seen him as a rival for Ned. Like,
Yeah,
and
but back
so
when you remember when Nicholas took ELQ from Michael, like she's always like she seemed like she had a soft spot for him. Her not having a soft spot for him feels new to me.
um, I mean, I thought she just felt like all of Carly's offsprings were just like, eh.
Yeah,
So I don't, I don't think she like,
true,
yeah. Um,
true.
but I think it'll be interesting who she sides with. She's gonna definitely side with Michael once this comes out, and
Oh yeah,
she's not gonna, Drew's Drew's the newest person of the Quartermain, so he will be dropped.
yeah. I
So,
definitely think Drew is gonna be way more blamed than Willow is. It's because like
Well,
Willow
yeah.
has like the hero worship thing with him. There's the age gap. There's
Hmm.
all of that. I think it's going to be on him and more on him than it is on her.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. The fallout, not the not the whole will they or won't they thing. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I need them to be caught now.
um. Okay. That's all I got for this week. Do you have anything else?
What else happened this week? Nothing really, huh? Yeah.
Um. I got
Oh, but there's
previews.
that
Oh,
aspect. Sasha's the only one who knows, right? So maybe she'll
and
be the one to do the reveal.
and Nina, Sasha, Nina,
Oh,
and Cody.
and she told Cody.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, there's nothing else going on that I got.
Let's get into previews for next week. Monday, Blaze receives a tempting offer. Willow makes a life-altering decision. I wonder if that's her telling Michael. Um, Nina confides in Maxie. Carly gets a big surprise. Anna makes a realization. Tuesday, Sunny confides in Jason. Christina makes a bittersweet decision. Carly warns Ava. Tracy gives Violet a history lesson. John Jagger details his new plan. Wednesday, Sasha takes Michael's advice to heart. Cody learns from Tracy. Jocelyn opens up to Geo. Why? Um, sorry, Willow makes a confession. Sunny makes an offer. Thursday, Maxie is alarmed. Michael issues an unexpected invitation. Cody attempts a rescue. Felicia gives Mac a piece of her mind. Jason updates Sunny. And then Friday, Jason hits pay dirt. Laura gets a distressing call. Jagger makes a shocking arrest. Michael and TJ face a heartbreaking choice. Sunny makes a promise to Christina. I do think it's funny that Christina was like, oh my God, my dad's a monster. And then all of a sudden it was like, killer.
Tell her I want her dead. One other thing we didn't talk about was Blaze. We talked about it briefly, but we're like, where's Blaze? And so I think given the previews for next week, I'm guessing the decision that Christina is gonna make. And we could talk about it more next week, how we feel about that. But it looks like they may be headed towards some sort of breakup of some sort.
I was like looking at a craze account I followed, and they said that they weren't going to be breaking up.
Mhm.
I also saw there was rumors that they were going
Okay.
to be bringing. I saw there was rumors they were going to be bringing in Blaze's brother. So I don't know why
Oh,
they
so they
keep.
do listen to us.
I don't know why they keep making homophobic Maria Santos so awful.
Mhm.
Like, um, here we are, and it'll be building
Yeah.
a Latino family, so there'll be some diversity there.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, well then I might be wrong. So hopefully that's the case. But hopefully
Well,
Blaze
they
goes and
do
visits
make it look
Christina
like
sometime soon.
because the preview did make it look like homophobic Maria Santos was like asking Christina to leave Blaze alone, and I'm like, why is she a
Right.
monster? Maybe it was a Christina dream. I don't
How
know.
you
They
gonna
need to
go
do
to
something with her.
like what? Yeah. Because that's bad. If you're gonna go to a woman who just lost a child and be like, let my daughter go, really? She needs her daughter more than anything, and you're asking her to let her go. Oh,
Also, shout out to that like 8-month old brown baby they had. Christina carrying in her
You
dream.
said 8 month old. You said 8 month old.
The baby was huge. I was like, this is not a
That was
newborn.
adorable. That was adorable baby though.
Well, that's what we have for you
Uh,
this week. Don't forget we are not recording next week, but Ty and I will be talking, so I
oh
will make
yeah.
sure to put up some fun stuff up on our Instagram, some of our takes, all of that throughout the week so that you have them. And other than that, we thank you. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and we appreciate you. Bye.
Bye. Happy Sunday.